Well, President Biden responded to multiple interruptions from Republican lawmakers during his address last night.
In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing.
Moments like that one happened throughout the speech, even after House Speaker Mike Johnson urged his members to show decorum in a meeting Wednesday. CBS News political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns is at the White House. Hi there, Caitlin. Good to see you. So these disruptions from lawmakers like Marjorie Taylor Greene and others have basically become a regular part of State of the Union addresses. How did the president react to some of these instances throughout the night?
Yeah, even despite, as you mentioned, party leaders urging members not to interrupt and to kind of remain calm, we kind of knew this would be coming. What was interesting, Elaine, though, was you mentioned Marjorie Taylor Greene. And as Biden was walking into the chamber, you could see her with a red Make America Great Again hat, representative of Trump. And she passed him a button with Laken Riley's name on it. And later at the podium, she jeered him during the immigration component, and he brought the button back up again and showed her and said her name. Laken Riley, of course, the woman in Georgia who was allegedly killed by an undocumented immigrant. And so kind of trying to throw it back at Republicans, saying, if you want to do something about this, send me a bill. So you saw him engage in that way. And talking to Democrats ahead of this speech, some reminded me of moments in the last State of the Union that Biden did that, and they felt like that was a strong moment for him because it kind of showed an engagement with the crowd and also kind of setting up these contrasts that they wanted to show ahead of the election.
Yeah, it was an interesting strategy to watch. We also touched on this a moment ago, but President Biden did not mention former President Trump by name, but criticized him throughout the speech. How did Donald Trump respond?
Well, Donald Trump was very busy on Truth Social, his preferred social media outlet, last night, tweeting at a pretty rapid or putting statements out at a pretty rapid pace as trying to counter program. But Elena, it was really interesting this week because we did see kind of a split screen moment coming off of Super Tuesday. You had Donald Trump all but officially claiming the Republican nomination. Then just a couple of days later, the president has this huge platform to also push forward his agenda for re-election, essentially. So this week really kind of gave you a preview of what the general is going to look like, this rematch between the current and former president. Republicans, of course, wanted to have their official response through Katie Britt, the Alabama senator, who, of course, has been criticized a little bit as well for the performance of her speech. But she has been thought of as someone in the Republican Party that can address some of the vulnerabilities that the standard bearer of the party has.
Well, the president took concerns about his age head on, saying, quote, "The issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas." I know the speech was just last night. Is there any way to gauge, Caitlin, whether that argument might be resonating with voters?
Well, it will be interesting to see, whether it does. Obviously, age and mental acuity have been Biden's kind of biggest vulnerabilities. But to me, this speech seemed to be really geared towards assuaging Democrats who may have been nervous about what this general election rematch might look like, given the vulnerabilities that Biden has and given that he has been lagging behind Trump in the polls. So this kind of addressing of age head on seemed to be a way, to assuage some Democrats as well. The performance of last night was going to be graded more so than the policy.
All right, Caitlin Huey-Burns at the White House for us. Caitlin, thank you.